I will be discussing my answers in worksheet number 1 for our course, Gender Sensitivity and Laws on Women and Children's Rights. The first part of the worksheet talks about the principles of the UN Convention on Rights of the Child and the domestic laws related to these rights. The first principle identified is the principle of non-discrimination. The core concept of the principle of non-discrimination is aligned with the International Human Rights Principle, which states that all individuals are equal as human beings and by virtue of the inherent dignity of each human person. No one, therefore, should suffer discrimination on the basis of race, color, ethnicity, gender, age, language, sexual orientation, religion, political or other opinion, national, social, or geographical origin, disability, property, birth, or other status established by human rights standards. The ultimate goal of this principle is to ensure that children all over the world will enjoy their rights and be able to reach their full potential. This principle of non-discrimination is provided under Article 2 of the UNCRC. It specifically states that every nation shall respect and ensure the rights of each child within their jurisdiction without discrimination, without regard to the child's parents' or legal guardian's race, color, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national, ethnic, or social origin, property, disability, birth, or other status. The Philippine law that is related to the principle of non-discrimination is the Domestic Adoption Act or Republic Act 8552. Section 41 of the said act talks about legitimacy, where it is provided that the adoptee shall be considered the legitimate child of the adopter for all intents and purposes, and as such is entitled to all the rights and obligations provided by law to legitimate children born to them without discrimination of any kind. To this end, the adoptee is entitled to love, guidance, and support in keeping with the means of the family. The next principle is the principle of life, survival, and development. This principle emphasizes that every child has the inherent right to live, including to thrive and reach their full potential. It is directly related to the economic and social rights of children. It is also to be emphasized that children's development goes beyond their physical well-being. It encompasses the holistic development and growth of a child, including mental, spiritual, moral, psychological, and social well-being. Thus, this can be achieved through proper education, healthcare, and a safe environment where children can thrive and reach their full potential. This principle of life, survival, and development signifies the United Nations commitment in ensuring that all children have the opportunity to not only live, but also to learn and flourish as a productive citizen. This principle of life, survival, and development is provided under Article 6 of the UNCRC, which states that every child has the inherent right to life, and countries must ensure the survival and development of each child within their jurisdiction. The domestic laws related to this right of the children are, number 1, the Child and Youth Welfare Code or Presidential Decree number 603. Article 8 of the decree states that child's welfare is paramount. Thus, in all questions regarding the care, custody, education, and property of the child, his welfare shall be the paramount consideration. Number 2, the Anti-Violence Against Women and Their Children Act or Republic Act number 9262. Under Section 32 of the Act, government agencies and LGUs are directed to establish programs such as, but not limited to, education and information campaign and seminars or symposia on the nature, causes, incidents, and consequences of such violence, particularly towards educating the public on its social impacts. Number 3, the Special Protection of Children Against Abuse, Exploitation, and Discrimination Act, or Republic Act number 7610, as amended by Republic Act 9231. Section 13 of said legislation provides that no child shall be deprived of formal or non-formal education. Therefore, in all cases of employment allowed in the Act, the employer shall provide a working child with access to at least primary and secondary education. And number 4, the rule on legal separation under AM number 02-11-11-SC. Section 18 of said rule focuses on the custody and support of common children. The last principle presented is the principle of inclusion and participation. This principle acknowledges children as active participants in society and not just mere passive recipients of care, which principle applies across various aspects of the lives of the children, starting from childcare to education, up to community building. The United Nations recognizes that the capacity of children to participate in the community depends and evolves with age. Thus, including them in decision-making must be adapted in accordance with it. The principle of inclusion and participation under Article 12 of the UNCRC stipulates that every child who is capable of forming his or her own views has the right to express those views freely in all matters affecting the child. Children have also the right to be heard in any judicial and administrative proceedings affecting them. The identified Philippine laws related to the principle of inclusion and participation are 1. The National Campus Freedom Day Act or Republic Act number 11440. Under Section 4, the law mandates all educational institutions to provide full support and assistance to the preparation of the annual program of activities and events to be conducted by students in observance of the National Campus Press Freedom Day. Section 5 of the Family Courts Act or Republic Act number 8369 stipulates that family courts have exclusive original jurisdiction to hear and decide on criminal cases where one or more of the accused is below 18 years old but not less than 9 years old, or where one or more of the victims is a minor at the time of the commission of the offense. Number 3, the Child Witness Examination Rule under AM number 004-07-SC. It aims to create and maintain an environment that will allow children to give reliable and complete evidence, minimize trauma to children, encourage children to testify in legal proceedings, and facilitate the ascertainment of truth. For the second part of the worksheet, I will present the various rights of children as citizens. First are their constitutional rights, such as the right to health, as stipulated in Article 13, Section 11 of our Constitution, the right to education under Article 14, Section 1, and the right to assistance, proper care, and nutrition, special protection from all forms of neglect, abuse, cruelty, exploitation, and other conditions prejudicial to their development provided for under Article 15, Section 3. The school of thought related to the children's right to health is the cultural feminists. The provision gives priority to underprivileged, sick, elderly, disabled, women, and children, recognizing them as the more vulnerable sectors in our society. On the other hand, the formal equality theory is related to the right to education, which shall be available to all citizens no matter, and elementary education is compulsory for all school-aged children. And lastly, the right to assistance, proper care, and nutrition, special protection from all forms of neglect, abuse, cruelty, exploitation, and other conditions prejudicial to their development may be gleaned from the dominance theory, acknowledging that children and women are more susceptible to abuse, exploitation, and cruelty than men. The Constitution recognizes the importance of giving the children the right to proper care and protection against such conditions that are prejudicial to their growth and development. In the Philippines, these constitutional rights are respected and promoted through the enactment of various laws such as Republic Act number 11148 or the Kalusugan at Nutrisyon ng Magnanay Act, which specifically aims to provide comprehensive, sustainable, multi-sectoral strategies and approaches to address health and nutrition problems of newborns, infants and young children, pregnant and lactating women, and adolescent females, as well as multifactorial issues that negatively affect the development of newborns, infants, and young children, integrating the short, medium, and long-term plans of the government to end hunger, improve health and nutrition, and reduce malnutrition. Republic Act 11510 or the Alternative Learning System Act guarantees equitable access for all learners, including those who reside in the unreached, underserved, conflict-affected communities and communities in emergency situations to avail of systematic, flexible, and appropriate alternative basic education programs outside of the formal school system. And Republic Act number 11648, increasing the age of determining the commission of statutory rape. The crime is now considered statutory rape when a person has carnal knowledge with another person on or after March 22, 2022, who is under 16 years old, which was previously 12 years old, or is demented. Next are the political rights of children, which include the right to participation and information as enshrined in Article 2, Section 13 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, and the right to representation and inclusion, right to be heard, or the freedom of thought and expression protected under Article 6, Section 5, Number 2. The school of thought related to the first right is the formal equality theory. The Constitution recognizes the youth as an important part of society, regardless of class, gender, cultural, or physical attributes. Hence, their involvement in the community is also looked into as vital. For the next right, the anti-essentialism theory applies. This provision in the Constitution ensures that seats in the legislative department shall consist of those who represent all sectors of society. It takes into consideration not only the classification of men and women, but also of cross-cultural factors and other classes that need attention. These children's political rights are protected and promoted through Republic Act number 10742 or the Sangguniang Kabataan Reform Act, which provides for the creation of a katipunan ng kabataan in every barangay, which shall serve as the highest policy-making body to decide on matters affecting the youth in the area. Also, the Kabataan Party List that represents the youth sector in Congress and aims to galvanize the Filipino youth's unity for social change, believing that the youth should devote its intellect, energy, and courage to building a new society devoid of corruption, inequality, and social injustice. And lastly, the National Campus Freedom Day Act, as discussed in the first part of the worksheet. Lastly, the civil and proprietary rights of children. These are the right to a name and nationality, which is related to the formal equality theory. Thus, the children's right to name and nationality is the same, no matter what the sex or social background of the individual is. Next is the right to life, security, and support, pursuant to Article 2, Section 12 of the Philippine Constitution. It follows the dominance theory, acknowledging that children and women are more susceptible to abuse, exploitation, and cruelty than men. And lastly, the right to inheritance also follows the theory of formal equality, recognizing that the right of children, whether legitimate or illegitimate, to their legitim can never be impaired, reduced, or burdened. Children, whether legitimate or illegitimate, have inheritance rights from their descendants or their parents. Several laws were enacted to protect and promote these children's rights. For one, we have Republic Act number 386 or the Civil Code of the Philippines. Book 1 provides for the rights of every person to a nationality and to use names, specifically Articles 37, 40, 48, and 364 to 380. We also have Article 17 of Presidential Decree number 603 or the Child and Youth Welfare Code and Section 2 of Republic Act number 11908 or the Parent Effectiveness Service Program Act. The government agency for the children and youth that I featured in the activity is the Council for the Welfare of Children. Its logo carries three important icons, a boy and a girl, representing Filipino children, a dove representing the Council's vision for peace and harmony, and a twig of laurel leaves representing the opportunities and rights of children. A royal blue color is used as background to depict a peaceful and enabling environment for children. The children are depicted in action, which translates to healthy, active, alert, well-nourished children protected from abuse and exploitation. The CWC is currently headed by Undersecretary Angelo M. Tapales, who also functions as the Council's Executive Director 5. The Council is mandated to initiate, promote, and advocate adoption of policies and measures to protect child's rights, build strong networks, partnerships, and coordination mechanisms to ensure concerted efforts in the implementation of Child 21 and Convention on the Rights of the Child, create an environment that enables children to develop their full potentials, just among others. Since CWZ was created through Presidential Decree 603, it functions as a coordinating body in the implementation and enforcement of all laws, formulation, monitoring, and evaluation of policies, programs, and measures to ensure the welfare of children and the youth in the country. It is an attached agency of the SWD that advocates and recommends to the President and other appropriate agencies the nationwide implementation of appropriate, new, innovative pilot programs and services for the children's general welfare. In the implementation of laws and programs on child and youth welfare, the CWC closely coordinates with the Department of Justice, Department of Social Welfare and Development, Department of Education, Department of Labor and Employment, Department of Health, Department of Agriculture, Department of Interior and Local Government, the local councils for the protection of children, and other government and private agencies which have programs on child and youth welfare.